Hello and welcome to our Igniting Voice. Today we have a very exciting plethora of work to show you. We've been working tirelessly on our food system work, science experiments, business and service work, math, language arts, and personal projects, and we can't wait to share them with you. Please remember that we encourage questions, but ones only relevant to the research we have done. And please turn off your cellular devices. Now, without further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Coming to the stand next, Caleb.
Hi, my name is Caleb, and you're about to see personal projects we have done over the summer or just for fun. We have introducing personal projects. Up next, Lillian.
Hello everyone, my name is Lillian and this is my Warrior Cats book project. Over the summer, I started reading a book series by Aaron Hunter called Warriors. This is a picture of the first book in the main series. From reading these books, I was motivated to make this. This is the new ThunderClan Lake Camp. It is made almost entirely out of Legos. I had wanted to make this for a while, but since I never had a deadline for it, it never got done. This is the nursery, where all clan cats are born and raised. Kids stay with their mothers in the nursery until they're 6 months old. Then they move to the apprentice den. This is the apprentice's den. The apprentice's den is where cats will live until they're around 12 months old. When apprentices become 12 months old, they become a warrior and move to the warrior's den. This is the elder's den. The elder's den is where warriors go once they are too old to hunt or fight. Warriors might also go to the elder's den if they were severely injured or wounded and aren't able to recover. This is the warrior's den. An apprentice becomes a warrior once they are around 12 months old. The clan deputy also stays in the warrior's den until they become leader. This is the medicine cat den. The medicine cat den is where the medicine cat and their apprentice lives. It is also where sick cats stay until they are well. This is the herb storage. Herbs are what medicine cats use to heal other cats that are sick or injured. Some of the herbs they use are tansy, marigold, horsetail, catnip, dock, and poppy seeds. This is the leader's den. The leader's den is where the leader of the clan lives and where the deputy will stay once the leader dies. This is the fresh kill pile. Whenever cats go hunting and bring back prey, they put it on the fresh kill pile for other cats to eat. This is the high ledge. The leader uses it to call clan meetings. Clan meetings are what the leader performs when they have something to announce to the clan, or when there needs to be an apprentice or warrior ceremony. That is the end of my project. I hope you enjoyed. Any questions?
As you read the series, do you find that there's a parallel between the way that the cats live and the way that they operate and the way that humans live and the way they operate?
Sort of. There is a clan. There are 4 different types of clans. There's Thunder Clan, Wind Clan, Shadow Clan, and River Clan. And they all, River Clan is good at fishing. Wind Clan is good at catching rabbits. Shadow Clan catches frogs, which is kind of gross, but they eat them. And Thunder Clan lives in the woods. So I guess they do kind of operate like people do. They all have their own ranks and stuff. So.
How many books are in this series?
Well, there are a couple main series. I'm on the 6th book in the 3rd series, Sunrise. But there are a lot more. There's super editions, mangas, which are like comic books, the main series, and then the beginning series, like how the clans came to be, Dawn of the Clans. But they're still continuing it right now, so I don't know how many there are. There's just a lot. So there's maybe, I guess maybe about like 40 books right now, but There might be more.
Lillian, how long did it take you to build that den?
I think I could have done it in a week, but I did it in like 4 days because it was like 4 last days of summer, and I finally got all the materials I needed, and I wasn't on vacation, so I worked really hard those last 4 days to get it done.
What was the software that got the pictures into the final presentation? What did you see?
You saw the pictures of the Lego camp that I made.
No, I mean, what technology? What was it? Was it iMovie? How did?
No, I just took pictures with the camera and then put it onto Google Slides.
Hi everybody, my name is Mango and I'm here to recite my pop sonnet. Now what is a pop sonnet, you ask? They are pop songs that are adapted into the form of some of Shakespeare's sonnets. I chose the song Is This For Real by Caitlin Maher and from the movie Popstar because I'm a fan of the movie myself and that was the first song that popped into my head to adapt into a sonnet. Now without further ado, my pop sonnet. Is this for real? I know with a star shall rise tonight. The star doth shine the brightest in the sky. My perfect moment hath come all right. Now I am o'er clouds, 'tis time to fly. And now I know the planets hath aligned. When I fly upon my carpet towards the sun. As if I were a diamond, I sparkled and shine. And my number of luck's been found, 'tis one. When I fly upon this rocket ship, o'er the night sky full of shining stars, a realm composed of dreams will be my trip, as I travel far up the sky and far. Oh, all this mere excitement makes me feel like wanting to know whether 'tis for real. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abby. My friend Annika and I wanted to put on a musical for our last year at Greenspring because we're both very interested in musical theater and we've never done one before. After much debate on what our school can physically pull off, we landed on a musical called Bring It On, a cheerleading musical. We then found many staff members who were willing to help us assist us with this project. We hosted auditions last Monday to see who was interested and what roles they would fit in best. Unfortunately, after the auditions, we had a couple obstacles. Our panel brought to our attention that the musical we had chosen was not appropriate for the age groups, and not enough people auditioned. So it was back to the drawing board. Before we were looking at Musical Theater International, but after auditions, Dr. Joel gave us a new site called Pioneer Drama. Last Tuesday, after the audition, we had to go to an admin meeting to pitch our plan to Miss Tamara and the rest of the admin team. With such short time, Abby and I were very worried and stressed. Abby worked on making a plan to share with the admin team, while I worked on finding a new musical. We finally decided on A Little Bit of Magic, a cute little musical about a wizard who goes on a journey to find her magic in the world, and finds out that we all have magic, and differences are worth celebrating. We went to the admin team fully prepared to answer all of their questions. After the meeting, we had 2 tasks: to make a budget to give to Miss Tamara before Thanksgiving and buy the rights to A Little Bit of Magic. Our show date is still being determined due to new opportunities. Thank you. Any questions?
What will the new auditions be?
We're not going to have new auditions, but we're having a new date of when the show is actually going to be. Because it might not be Odyssey stage. Yeah, so we might write Odyssey stage, which would then change the dates that we have picked out, so we don't actually have a date or when it would be. Georgie?
bring it on, if that's what you're asking. Because it's always been good for being other people, it's kind of a big thing, but we're doing a different show.
And can you repeat the question for people that didn't hear?
So she asked what happens to bring it on, and we can't do that because we didn't have enough people.
Miko?
Oh, what did you say was the musical about?
It's about a lizard who goes on her journey to find what her magic is in the world, and she finds out that everyone has a little bit of magic and that our differences are worth celebrating.
Wait, did you say lizard or wizard?
Wizard, sorry. Any last questions?
Did you guys end up including just the adolescent community and the upper L in the musical?
We are still deciding whether or not we should include third years
Third years from
Lower L.
Laura.
So what we're thinking on doing with the third graders is there's kind of a plant audience in a little bit of magic, like it has kids come up, so we think we're going to use them as the chorus/stage audience.
Thank you. Okay.
In humanities, we study the food system and is carried on to our science projects as well. Each of us in small groups will be conducting a science experiment based on our curiosity about food and nutrition in December. Some examples of our experiments include growing plants with different types of fertilizers, comparing preservatives in fast food and non-fast food, how plants react to different pH levels, and a nutrition survey, seeing if people really can tell the difference between organic and non-organic food. Those who are presenting will be sharing how we will go about our experiment and asking for feedback. That said, first up is Nate, Mikkel, and Olivia.
Thank you, Lizzie. For our science experiment, we chose to test the relationship of pH levels in water and the height of snap peas.
We plan to use the pH levels of 5, 7, and 9. The pH levels will be changed using a mixture of baking soda and lemon juice.
We will have 2 plants for each level and will water the plants twice a week. We will record the height of our plants 3 times a week as they grow. Does anyone have any questions or feedback?
Do you have any hypotheses?
I personally think that the 7 will do the best because it is the most, like that's what tap water is normally, around 7.
Did you pick your food for a particular reason, or just?
The plants,
Yeah.
they grow fast, or that's what we were told, so.
What type of soil, did you have to look at the pH level of the soil?
No, we got the soil from the same source, so.
How can I measure the pH level in my drinking water?
What?
How do I know my drinking water, what level of pH level has it got?
It's normally 7 or 8.
Oh, okay.
How do you measure?
How do I measure it?
We have kits.
Okay.
We have a meter that we bought, so.
Can I ask you a really basic question? What is pH?
It stands for per hydrogen. It's how much hydrogen's in the water. And the lower it is, it's acidic, and the higher it's alkaline.
How did you choose the plants for the experiment?
We were told that they grow fast and we have 4 weeks, so we know. Yes?
Who invented the pH scale?
I have no idea.
Do each of you have different responsibilities in the project? Actually, let me address the women or the girls. do each of you have different responsibilities, or how does that work? How do you break up the project?
I mean, we're all kind of just doing a little bit of everything, just working together.
Good morning, my name is Nayla Mingo.
My name is Lizzie.
I'm Brooke. Have you ever wanted to compare different types of burgers from fast food to top of the line organic?
That's exactly what we plan to do.
In December, we will be conducting a science experiment and seeing if there are preservatives put into fast food and how that will affect smell, mold, and color.
We decided on 5 different types of burgers: McDonald's, Five Guys, frozen patty, and an organic grass-fed burger. Each will have these exact same topping and structure: tomatoes, lettuce, cheese, a patty, and a bun.
For 15 days, we will put out all 4 burgers out on a table with plates and cover them with saran wrap.
Each day, we will take a picture.
Our hypothesis is the organic grass-fed burger will be the moldiest, smelliest, and possibly a green or brown color. McDonald's will be least and the opposite of the grass-fed burger.
Although our science experiment is for the most part planned out, we are always open for feedback.
And we actually have a question for you as well.
As we explained previously, we plan to use frozen patties, but which brand?
Have you ever heard of White Castle burgers?
If not, it is an old fast food restaurant that sells frozen patties in the grocery store.
They make heat-up sliders that you pop into the microwave.
So here's our question. Do you think we should buy regular frozen patties to cook ourselves, or White Castle burgers we could pop into the microwave? Yes, ma'am?
White Castle.
I always say the frozen patties because White Castle has a different circulatory structure because of the holes in the patties. So if you want to be standard across the board, you might want to stick with something that's more similar to your own patties.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, my feedback would be that the microwave process itself would probably sanitize it, really take all the germs out. Therefore, you really have the White Castle would sort of be sanitized, whereas the other one would come and be handled by food handlers. I think that would be after the most effect. Did we get to eat one of them?
That's a different experiment.
Maybe you should try a frozen patty and a White Castle patty, and then instead of just trying to pick one, you could eat both.
Hello, I actually have a question for you. About your hypothesis, why do you think that the grass-fed burger will get the moldiest?
Because we don't think it has as many preservatives in it as the other ones.
Any other?
I think you should try the frozen patty. No reason.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Now we transition into our math segment. We will have students come up and present what knowledge they have gained in math throughout the first trimester. First, I will be giving a lesson on the 4-color math theorem. I'm excited to share this because of my love and interest in math. I will give you all 2 minutes to color that map. I have a blank map of the United States, and there's one rule. Touching states cannot be the same color. Also note that if states are touching corners, they do not count as touching. So you have 2 minutes, and we're going to pass out some markers.
What do they mean? I'm just confused at what they mean.
What corner states what?
What was it? So what the, we can only use 4 colors and then 4 colors and they can't touch. I see their game now. I see their game now. I see their game. So what they cannot touch.
That's all everybody has. White is the color. Everyone just has one color.
That's just normal teams. This is Seth Science Experiment.
You don't know why?
We just were told to color. We did do it, but
Zach, repeat the rules for everybody.
Okay, so quick repetition of the rules. You want to color the map using as few colors as possible. The only rule is states that are bordering each other can't be the same color. And they don't count as bordering if they're touching corners.
So the 4 corners.
Yes.
You're being colored with 2 colors.
Yes. We'll have 1 more minute to finish up.
well, remember, he's still doing
You don't say color in perfect, you can
I need
I've only got a quarter of the thing done. All right, let's go, 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 go.
So, the coloring time is up. Back to lesson time. You can take the mats home with you and try to finish them later. So I want everyone, raise your hand if you used 6 colors or less? Keep your hand raised if you use 5 colors or less. Keep your hand raised if you use 4 colors or less. And keep your hand raised if you use 3 colors or less. Okay, so let me go to this slide. So the least amount of colors possible is 4, and you can almost do it using 3. You see how in this map, dark blue is only used twice. So the 4-color map theorem states that it is impossible to create a map that requires 5 colors using the rules I gave you. Every single map can be colored using 4 colors or less. So this theory is kind of hard to believe at first. So you may think, surely you can create a unique map that can be colored with just 4 colors. Here are some examples of some unique maps. But in 1976, the theory was proved by Kenneth Apple and Wolfgang Haken, and here is how they did it. So maps can be simplified into networks. So this map on the left is simplified into this network on the right. You can see each point in the network represents a country in the map, and then the lines represent what countries are bordering each other. So if you were to color coordinate it, you would see that no 2 countries with the same color are touching each other, and you could do it in 4 colors. So what Kenneth Apple and Wolfgang Haken did was they made a list of over 1,000 different networks, and they proved that all those networks could be colored using 4 colors. And then they proved that all possible maps have to be created using some combination of those networks. So that proved that every single map could be colored using 4 colors or less. I have some of the unique maps that I showed earlier. There's some, so if you want to take home and experiment yourself later, you can. Are there any questions? Yes, Mango?
How can you tell which colors can go to which areas?
You gotta guess and check. Experiment. Yes.
So how does this, or does it tie in, like, it sounds like this is an important theory, and I'm curious how this would be used otherwise.
Well, it's used in just like creating maps, so you don't have to use like, you're creating a map in the United States, you don't have to use 50 colors.
Yep.
You could use 4 colors.
And you know you.
Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Yes.
Is this why at home when I ask you about homework, you always have coloring books out? Just wondering.
Any other serious questions? Yes?
So you used the word network when you were talking about the different states. I'm wondering, maybe this is something to chew on, but are there other kinds of networks you can think about where this might apply that aren't maps, where you need 4 different things? Right now you're using colors, but 4 different applications of something within a network of people, or a network of spaces, or a network of technology. I'm not sure what, because this is really beyond me, but it just seems like it could be applicable somewhere else, and I'm not sure what that is. Do you have any thoughts on that now, or maybe?
Yeah, there probably could be, because like another thing with the networks is, if you notice how none of the lines that are connecting different points are crossing each other, because if that were to happen in the map, it wouldn't be recreated, it wouldn't be a real map. So it could probably be used in a lot of different things, like topology-wise. Thank you.
How did you come across this idea? Was this something you found?
I had a lesson on this a while back, and I recently saw a cool video explaining deeper into it, and like about, when I had the lesson, it was basically just about coloring, but the video I saw was really interesting, and it was like about the way that people prove the theorem, and so I thought it was really fascinating. Yes.
Shouldn't there be a math equation based on like how many states in the map or how many countries in the other map? Shouldn't there be a math equation that would allow you to figure it out?
I don't think there is, because you can have a bunch of different maps. Oh, well, actually, there are, I didn't make a slide about this, but there are different maps that translate into the same networks. So you can make a different type of map, but when you translate it into a network, it looks the exact same as that. Yes.
How does it tie to math? How does this tie to math?
Because it's the mathematical thinking part of your brain. There you go.
Is there a certain algorithm you use to prove the four-color theorem?
Well, the people that did it, they plugged some sort of algorithm into a computer that made all the possible networks. Yes.
Who were the people that did it?
It was two guys named Kenneth Apple and Wolfgang Hinken in the 1970s. Thank you.
Okay, so in class we have different math groups. I'm a part of the green math group, and we decided that since we were working on fractions, and it was the day of the dead, that we make pandem verto, a dead commonly eaten on day of the dead. In order to buy the ingredients for the bread, we had to multiply everything by 4 so that each of us can make our own batch. For instance, we needed 1/4 cup of butter, so we had to multiply that by 4, which is 1 cup. And we figured out that we had to find 1 cup of butter sold in quarts, and 1 cup of butter is equal to 2 quarts. We had to look for 2 quarts of butter on the Giants website, and we found out that Land O'Lakes has 2 quarts of butter for $5.99. We used the same operation for the rest of the ingredients, and our total price was $6. And once we got our total price, we had to add tax, which was $6, and we got $36.21. Any questions? Thank you.
One of the things we worked on in my math group, which was the orange group, was slope-intercept with real-life word problems. The first problem we did were the soda price reports and the graph. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Y is representing the dependent variable depending on what the outcome of the equation is. M being the rate or slope in which the coordinates follow. X is the independent variable representing the x-axis, and b is the y-intercept on the coordinates. Our word problem included 3 different sizes: small, medium, and large, their price, and the refill price. First, we have to figure out an equation for each of the soda sizes and what the price will depend on. The equations included the set price, the refill price, and how many refills. For each equation, it would have the same rate or slope, but a different y-intercept. And the slope would be the refill price times x, which represents how many refills, but that is unknown. Next, we have to graph the 3 drink possibilities. But to help me, I created a table of the ratios from ounces to prices. We use these as coordinates on the graph. From this graph, we can see that if you are getting 64 ounces from a small for 3 refills for $1.75, you could get 72 ounces for the same price in a medium for 2 refills. Or if you want 96 ounces, it would make more sense to get a large with 3 refills for $1.50 than getting a small or medium for a more expensive price. Thank you. Any questions?
Can we get White Castle?
Yeah.
Has this impacted how you buy soda now?
I mean, I haven't really thought about it, but I guess it could. Yeah.
I guess it makes more sense.
Like that formula that you had at the beginning, you have
Yeah, so we used that formula to, after we did this problem, we had other like sheets to use that equation to put on a graph. So that's really how we used it.
So do you feel like algebra now is a very real life skill?
Yeah. Any other questions? Thank you.
This trimester, as part of our study of food systems, we looked at different aspects of the U.S. food system. During our study, we studied food inequity in processed food, visited a commercial dairy farm, and we even partnered with real food farms and helped them harvest and plant fruits and vegetables. Some of us have prepared presentations.
Hi, I'm Mango.
And I'm Lillian.
We did a farm to plate study of honey. This over here is the process of harvesting honey.
This is the process of liquid honey. This is the process of comb honey.
And that is the process of making crystallized honey. For harvesting honey, the honeybees pollinate the flowers, gathering nectar, and then bring it back to the bee box to turn it into honey. Then the beekeeper removes the bees by smoking them and uses his knife or uncapping tool to uncap the honey from the honeycomb.
To make liquid honey, the honey is first strained, then it is put in a pot and heated to 120 degrees. Then it is strained under pressure again to bring out all the little air bubbles. Then it is put into jars and then it is shipped to the consumer. For comb honey, the beekeeper traces lines on the honeycomb, then cuts it into smaller pieces, then puts them in a jar with some excess liquid honey. Then it ships it to the consumer.
Okay. When honey is crystallized, this is actually a natural process. Honey is 25 to 40% glucose and 30 to 44% glucose. Over time, the glucose and liquid in the honey starts to separate, causing it to crystallize at that point. The type of honey depends on how rapidly it crystallizes and how large the crystals will turn out. Then, after it crystallizes, they ship it to markets, and then it's purchased by the consumer.
Now you may be thinking, what is the best type of honey? Well, really, there is no best honey. But if you're looking for the best honey to put in your tea, liquid honey or crystallized honey would be the way to go because you don't really want chunks of comb honey floating around your tea.
But if you're looking for a nice, tasty spread for breakfast, like toast, then crystallized or comb honey would be your top choice.
Because liquid honey would just soak into the bread would be mushy. Any questions?
Yes?
I've heard that honey is one of the few edible things that never expires. Is that true? Did you guys find out anything about that?
That wasn't really a research question, but liquid honey does eventually turn into crystallized honey if it's left sitting out for a long period of time.
Yeah, Yes?
In doing this project, did you find any brands that you think are better than others?
We didn't research anything into brands, we just did the different types.
Yeah?
In any of your research, do you know how the bees are treated, or do you think they're happy, or do you think they're harmed in the process?
Well, there was a couple different types of ways that they could get the bees out. They could use an escape hole, they could smoke them, or they could, what was the other one?
I don't remember.
Okay, well, there was another way as well, but there's a couple different ways you can get out the bees.
Don't they have that thing that, like, they have the smoke inside and then they pump it out?
Yeah, that's how we used that in our illustration. We could have used the one with the escape hole or other things, but we decided to use that because that was the easiest to draw.
Yes?
In your first slide, you talk about it like from a comb to liquid, right?
Mm-hmm.
What makes the honey not, after time, not go back into like a hard form? What keeps it liquid?
They heat it up because for crystallized honey, it is not heated, so the stuff that helps it crystallize is still there. But in liquid honey, it's heated off the majority of all the things that make it crystal. But if it's left for a very, very, very long time, it does become crystallized again, but you'll probably have eaten it by then.
How exactly do the bees make their honey?
Oh, that is a good question. When they turn into honey, they regurgitate special enzymes into the nectar and they store it into their cells in the hive. Over time, the nectar becomes honey thanks to the enzymes they produce.
But
Yes?
won't the bees digest the honey nectar they take from the flower?
Yes, they take the pollen from the flower and then they put it in what Mango said, they put it in their bee box or hive or whatever they have.
In cells. Did you have a question?
You answered it, actually.
Any other questions? Thank you. Oh, and by the way, in our gallery walk, we will have samples of each type of honey for you to taste.
Good thing to do as well. Huh?
For our community's project, we chose to research McDonald's McNuggets. Our question is, what goes into the process of making McNuggets and how do the ingredients affect the preservation? To represent this research, we chose to make a documentary using iMovie, which includes the clips of the process, the changes of the recipe from before 2015 and after, nutritional facts, and a surprise experiment that we created.
You're probably wondering why we and anybody else should be interested in this question and information. We are interested in this because no one really knows what is being put into the process of a popular fast food item that most people eat. If McDonald's was really telling the truth about switching to all-white chicken. Thanks to us, you're about to find out.
Work goes a long way at Macca's. Share 24 chicken McNuggets with your mate. Just $9.95 every day.
Have you ever wondered what is the process of making McNuggets and how do the ingredients affect
affect the preservation.
According to the Washington Post, before 2015, McDonald's made McNuggets using pink goop, which is a pink substance made out of mechanically separated meat, also known as poultry paste. Poultry paste includes tendon, meat stuck on bone, eyeball, muscle tissue, bone, blood vessels, and nerves. After the poultry was separated, it was washed with ammonia, which made it taste better, so they added artificial flavors and dyes.
After 2015, they altered their recipe to all natural white chicken meat to make it healthier for the body so that more parents would get it to feed their kids. By 2027, McDonald's has made it their goal to eliminate all antibiotics from chicken, and they have set deadlines to help accomplish their goal.
The process of making McNuggets first starts with slaughtering the chicken and separating the chicken breasts from the extra meat and fat. The trimmed breasts get sent to the meat grinder alongside seasoning and chicken skin. The grinded meat gets transferred to the assembly line to be shaped into the bell, ball, boot, and bow. Then the shapes are covered with a light thin batter and then covered again with a thicker batter called tempura. The battered, seasoned ground poultry is placed in the fryer and ready to be shipped.
In McDonald's chicken nuggets, there are 41 ingredients to preserve and make the chicken taste good. Overall, the 10-count nuggets are 420 calories, 38% total fat, 21% cholesterol, 47% sodium, 9% carbohydrates, and 25 grams of protein.
We followed a recipe that's in the same process as McDonald's does, but with different breading, and we found it to be very disgusting. Our chicken nuggets only have 7 ingredients to make a good, healthy meal: ground chicken, black pepper, garlic powder, and cornflakes, potato flakes, and Parmesan cheese for the bread. We made homemade chicken nuggets to compare to McDonald's chicken nuggets, and we created a presentation out of our data.
Now think, would you rather have McDonald's chicken nuggets or homemade fresh nuggets that have good quality, healthy, and known ingredients?
We actually didn't consider that, but that would be a good thing to consider. Yeah.
Why do you think they changed the process?
They made it to be more appealing to parents to feed their kids.
Was there any underlying circumstances that caused that to happen?
Not that we know. Yeah.
Would this be more disgusting to be big ingredients in the chicken nuggets? What was the question?
I think it was more than a comment.
Yeah.
Has this affected the way you or any classmates that you were with while you were doing this research view McDonald's chicken nuggets?
It changed the way that I view it.
How
But, well, I always thought that it was how they did it before 2015, but now they're not as bad. So I'd like consider maybe eating them, but
Don't feel as bad.
yeah.
And now, do you like chicken nuggets?
I've always liked chicken nuggets.
What were the ingredients for before 2015 again?
It was like different parts of the chicken.
I thought I heard you say eyeballs and
Yeah.
Cool.
guys decided to do a documentary?
It was just like a different way to represent our work.
And how is that process? How is the process of doing it? Do you enjoy doing it, or do you wish you did something else?
It was very stressful. Because we didn't have that much time to make it. Yeah. The McDonald's one, which was actually not what we thought would happen, but we think it's because the McDonald's one, like, they touched so many people's hands that the bacteria got on it, but ours only touched our hands. Yeah.
When you looked at determining caloric intake and all those ingredients, did you guys think about factoring in sauces? Because most people eat them with sauces that changes perhaps the composition.
We did not. Yeah.
Do you think McDonald's is unique in how many ingredients and how poor the ingredients are? Or do you think a lot of the other restaurants out there are similar, and does that affect what you do when you go out?
Well, a lot of other fast food restaurants also used pink goop, which was that substance, and they still use that. So, any other questions?
As you all probably know, our class participates in collaboration with Civic Works Real Food Farms. One of the workers at the farm explained to our class their role in the community. They grow organic produce to sell at low prices through their mobile farmers markets. This process sparked an idea for me and Anna.
Next slide, please. We wanted to make meals that could be easily heated up in the microwave or kept frozen so that people with lack of time and/or lack of knowledge could easily prepare nutritious meals. We then came up with many small research questions to help us figure out if and how this could be possible. Those research questions consist of: how do we organize a meal drive? Why hasn't this been done before? How do we contact Real Food Farm? Can we use Real Food Farm's produce? Is this legal? Can we sell the food? What areas need it most? What produce lasts longest? Do they have microwavability? What other organizations can help us? And how is this possible? We then found many helpful research sources, including a map showing some of the most food insecure places in Baltimore.
As a part of our research, we contacted both Real Food Farms and Meals on Wheels, an organization that has a similar process to Real Food Farms, to answer questions like, have they taken part in meal drives, why or why not, and if it would be possible for us to collaborate with them.
Unfortunately, our responses weren't exactly what we wanted to hear. Meals on Wheels wrote back to us stating that there are too many citizens they send food to, and Real Food Farms replied with legal issues regarding permits. But their helpful feedback and answers to our questions sparked our new idea.
We are in the midst of finding recipes for Real Food Farms to sell with their winter and spring produce to sell at their mobile markets. Many citizens in food deserts lack knowledge in cooking or preparing meals, and some people are raised in certain ways that are excluding to wider varieties of how you can prepare your food. We want to change that. Our hope is that with the recipes sold with produce, they will learn how to prepare healthier meals and stop relying too much on fast food.
Next slide, please. Who has seen this Hershey's Cocoa container with the label on the front and recipes on the back?
Perfect. This is exactly what we want to do with Real Food Farms produce. Next slide. So, what's next, you may ask? We still need to find the recipes to include with Real Food Farms winter and spring crops, and after we find the recipes, we need to properly pitch our full refined idea to Real Food Farms.
Next slide. Thank you. Any questions?
So one thing you talked about was food deserts and accessibility to microwaves and things like that. So we guys talked about the recipes and the produce. Would you want to consider going one step beyond and actually making a low-cost meal kit? So we have kind of like the Blue Apron and all those, where we have all the ingredients with the food, so you wouldn't have to scrounge around or look around and see what they can find something.
We haven't really considered that, but we're right now going to focus on sending recipes to Real Food Farms, and then maybe after, if that all goes well, then we'll consider doing something more.
Where would you sell these products?
Real Food Farms would sell them with their local farmers markets that they send out.
What type of area?
Areas that are food deserts, like Clifton Park,
Southwest Baltimore, places like that, where their like organization is based, and then they go out and give out produce.
Where did you all get your PowerPoint skills?
Thank you.
No, it's beautiful. No, really. Where did you?
Just experimented.
Wow. You can experiment on one of my PowerPoints.
This is not anymore. Okay, well that was a map showing food deserts in Baltimore City. Here it is. The red is the health food priority areas, areas that need healthier foods.
Yeah, and Real Food Farms takes mobile farmers markets and we drive to these areas, normally in the summer months.
You mentioned legal difficulties as a category. Could you describe just what fits into that? Like, was it like food safety issues or the sales tax?
There were legal issues regarding getting permits, and we can't physically sell the produce ourselves.
That's connected to, Mary, your question. I think their legal permit is to sell that was the email from Miss Jackie, to sell the food that they're harvesting, but any other ingredients you want to package, like the Blue Apron, they don't have the permits for that.
Can I ask, so the basic question is, what is a food desert and do the permits contribute to?
A food desert is where they either don't have healthy grocery stores like Whole Foods or Trader Joe's within walking distance, and they don't have cars. They don't have very much access to cars, and so they can't just go to the grocery store like some of us can just walk across the street or walk a couple of blocks and then we're at a grocery store and we can easily buy the food, but they don't have access like that. Like they either don't have the money or the availability.
Do you think that it's grocery stores that sell fresh fruit and vegetables versus Trader Joe's and Whole Foods compared to many markets that don't really sell the fresh vegetables? Is that what you mean?
Yes. Supermarkets are different than the small corner stores that we looked at.
Have you visited any of the food deserts?
Not us personally. We went to Real Food Farms, both of their sites, which were in food deserts.
Yeah, they have two locations. One's in Clifton Park and the other's in Olivia. Yeah, we went to Clifton Park.
Okay, and then just to clarify, I just want to tag on this. It's not so much like you're saying that it's about having a healthier grocery stores, but any grocery stores at all. Is that what you're saying?
It's healthy grocery stores versus just small corner stores that sell like all these processed chips and stuff.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
How does Real Food Farms get their money
to provide these desserts?
They sell their produce at very low prices.
Do we also get grants?
I believe so.
When you come up with your meal plans, are you concerned with how many ingredients that you are going to have in there?
Yes.
Why?
Because we don't want to have too many things that are too many ingredients, like, so people don't have to buy as many ingredients. For more convenience.
Why do food desserts exist?
That's a really good question. We did not look into that, but
Any ideas based on kind of what you know already, or any hypotheses?
Just low access to healthy foods, or I explained previously that people aren't raised to cook healthy meals, that they're, like when they grew up, they're used to fast foods or processed foods or things like that, so they're not typically wanting to buy healthy meals or things like that.
Do you think it's more expensive or less expensive to purchase healthy foods versus purchasing processed foods?
it depends on where you go, really, but healthier foods are more expensive in high demand. That's why there are more food deserts out there.
Do you think that, yeah, I was just gonna ask if you thought that was part of it?
Is your business model a for-profit or not-for-profit?
Ours? We don't have a business.
Well, I heard you use the language sell a couple of times, so you're going to sell your recipes?
No. We're gonna donate them to Real Food Farms so they can sell them with their produce.
What do you think the most important thing is they give it away. What do you think the most important aspect of eating right is? Access, money, education? Like, I know they're all important, but what do you think the most is? Because there's a lot of research on it.
I think personally I'd have to say education.
I have to say money. You're not able to buy healthier foods if you don't have the money for it. But yeah, you still, like you said, they're all important. You still need the education on what to buy. You still also need the money to how to buy.
I have a question about Real Food Farms. You said it was a non-profit organization, so I thought they didn't sell their food as much as they gave it away. I could be wrong. Do they sell their food? I thought they just gave it to people.
That's a good point. I was wondering the same thing myself when we asked them, because they said that they were a nonprofit organization, but they also said that they sold their food. So I don't know.
You can sell at cost.
Yeah, as long as it's making money.
Does the map back there show areas outside of Baltimore? I mean, outside of the Beltway, or is that just in the Beltway?
This is just Baltimore City areas up to as far as Woodland.
Yeah, I live up in Willingsville.
That's not considered Baltimore City, I don't think.
Do you think there's any ways or ideas you have to prevent the food deserts and these services? Do you think there's any ways or you have any ideas to prevent food deserts in these services?
Well, that's part of our idea, working with Real Food Farms to give recipes with their produce. They're already working on things like that, giving away their produce at low price, or selling their produce. And we wanted to work with them.
As you're picking your recipes, are you determining anything as far as like popularity? What will be more, susceptible by potential food deserts?
We didn't really think of that. That's a good
Although
thing.
we did speak to Real Food Farms, one of the workers that we're working with. She said that they have crops that aren't really bought because there's nothing that people know how to cook with them, like okra and persimmon. ways to find that can increase popularity.
Thank you.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the next portion of our presentation, which is two debates. Our first debate, my name is Elliot Dixon, I will be moderating the debate. The first debate is on the benefits of fast food in the U.S. food system. Arguing for the pro side is our own Ella Cunningham-Murray. Thank you for being here today. And arguing for the con side is our own Nate Willis. Thank you for being here, Nate. Ella, arguing for the pro side, you have 1 minute to deliver your opening statement.
Fast food gets hated on for no reason. It's an asset to this country and people need to start appreciating it more. First, fast food is convenient. Most Americans are too busy with their lives to go by the grocery store and cook actual food. With fast food restaurants, all someone has to do is drive up to the window and drive off with their order. On top of being convenient, fast food is also extremely cheap. Actual food can be extremely expensive. Why would anyone want to buy a bushel of apples when they could buy a fully prepared cheeseburger for less? Finally, fast food chains help people receive jobs. McDonald's opens new restaurants at a rate of 2,000 per year and employs more people than any other organization, public or private. If this company ever shut down, thousands of people would be out of a job and unable to support their families. Fast food is not a rush mess like some people would imply. It's a part of America and our food system would be ruined without it.
Nate, arguing for the con side, you have an opportunity to ask Ella some clarifying questions. Ella, for each question, you have about 30 seconds to reply.
So are you saying that fast food is an alternative to apples?
No, I said fast food is cheaper than apples.
How can fast food be good when it has been linked to many serious or sometimes fatal diseases?
Not all fast food chains are linked to diseases. Focusing on the negative aspect of fast food and generalizing a problem that only affects a few chains is not a fair judgment.
How is fast food supporting families when it is paying minimum wage, which is below the living standards of most states?
The whole point of minimum wage is that it's the minimum for living standards. If there is a problem with paying minimum wage, then it's the fault of the government for not raising it, not the fault of the fast food restaurants.
No further questions.
Nate, arguing for the con side, you now have a minute to deliver your opening statement.
Fast food is applied to the U.S. food system. Johns Hopkins Center for a Livable Future defines a food system as a system encompassing all the activities and resources that go into producing, distributing, and consuming food. Fast food is without a doubt the worst thing to happen to the U.S. food system. Fast food has been linked to obesity, fatal diseases, and gives its workers no benefits. Merriam-Webster's dictionary defines fast food as food designed for ready availability with little consideration given to quality or significance. There are no benefits that can outweigh the negative effects of fast food.
Thank you. Ella, you now have an opportunity to ask Nate any clarifying questions. Nate, you have 30 seconds to respond to each one.
How can fast food be, quote, the worst when canned soup, something you buy at the grocery store, is technically classified as worse?
I would consider canned soup fast food. It is food designed for ready availability with little consideration given to quality or significance.
Isn't it unfair to label all fast food chains as unhealthy?
I'm not labeling them as unhealthy. I'm stating the results of many scientific studies.
No further questions.
Thank you. Ella, arguing for the pro side, you will now have up to 5 minutes to deliver your main arguments.
Thanks to fast food, people can save so much time. It has helped feed many people all over America who wouldn't have time to eat otherwise. All people are busy, no matter what age. Most adults spend 1/3 of their life at work. Kids have school. The average 13-year-old at Greenspring spends about $13,650 out of 44,671.462 hours at school. And even if it's the weekend, most people have activities or homework that keep them occupied. Food may be a necessity, however, it can be a hassle to go all the way to the grocery store and get all that food, then go all the way back home and then prepare all that food. This is on top of the fact that not everyone has a car or a grocery store within walking distance. Why go through all that trouble when there are fast food restaurants on every street? Getting fast food is a huge drag, even if it's extremely important. It's so much more convenient to drive up to a window, place your order, and have a fully prepared meal ready to go in seconds. Many people cannot afford to go to a grocery store, whether it's not enough money for gas to get there or not enough money to buy the groceries. Low-income neighborhoods frequently lack full-service grocery stores and farmers markets. One of the best parts about fast food is how cheap it is. 2 to 3 average tomatoes cost about $1 to $7 depending on the quality. This may seem reasonable, but I also need to get lettuce, celery, ranch dressing, onions, basil, parsley, salt, pepper, etc. And that's just for a salad. I still need to get so much more food for the week. A fully prepared Taco Bell taco with meat, cheese, tomato, lettuce, and tortilla costs only $1.19. That's so much cheaper than one little tomato. Fast food also helps our economy. Fast food chains give jobs to so many people. Although some people who do not support fast food chains want to shut down these franchises, closing any fast food chain is a bad idea. Subway employs 144,000 people. KFC has even more with 200,000 employees. 270,000 people work for Dunkin' Donuts, and McDonald's, with the most employees out of any other organization, has 440,000 employees. This is from only 4 of 50,000 fast food chains across America. Anyone who wants to close down fast food is not taking into consider the millions of people who will no longer have jobs.
Thank you. Nate, arguing for the con side, you now have up to 1 minute to deliver a rebuttal.
You said fast food was feeding millions and helping the economy. That statement is not entirely true. Fast food is trading people's health for low-quality meals with no nutritional value, and those meals are linked to serious diseases that are sometimes fatal. How can fast food help the economy when it has been estimated to have cost us $250 billion in taxes in 2016 alone? Also, I don't think that trip to the hospital from eating all of your fast food will be that convenient.
Nate, arguing for the con side, you now have up to 5 minutes to deliver your main arguments.
The plague to the U.S. food system, that is fast food, is the leading attributor to the U.S. obesity epidemic. Fast food is heavily associated with obesity due to its design. According to the World Health Organization, the U.S. has the highest fast food per capita and one of the highest obesity rates. Fast food has very little nutritional value. A McDonald's meal with a Big Mac, medium fries, and a large soda is at least 1,200 calories. The obesity rates have gone up 60% since the 1980s due to fast food's growth. The obesity epidemic caused by fast food is destroying our food system. In addition to obesity, fast food has been linked to many other health issues. Fast food is heavily associated with many life-threatening diseases. According to the Harvard Health Department, children who eat fast food 3 times a week or more have a 30% higher chance of developing chronic rhinitis, asthma, and eczema. Fast food is also linked to sometimes fatal diseases such as cardiovascular disease, cardiac arrest, strokes, and stomach cancer. The many health issues associated with fast food make it a plague to our food system. Along with these health issues, fast food is also bad for its employees. Fast food employees are given minimum wage jobs and are given no benefits for their work. According to the Our Future organization, many fast food workers still rely on food stamps. Fast food has also been estimated to have cost Americans $250 billion in 2016. Fast food is negatively affecting its workers.
Ella, arguing for the pro side, you now have up to a minute to deliver your rebuttal.
When someone says fast food, you may think of McDonald's or Burger King. However, there are plenty of other fast food chains that pride themselves on healthy food. Have you considered other healthier food chains such as Chopped, Dig In, Life Kitchen, Native Foods Cafe? protein bar, roti Mediterranean grill, sweet green tender greens, veggie grill, or Zoe's kitchen. These are all classified as fast food restaurants. And no, they are not less common than other fast food chains. Native Foods Cafe is only 2 minutes away from here. And you made the clear statement, fast food is without a doubt the absolute worst thing to happen to the U.S. food system. However, this could not be further from the truth. When it comes down to it, canned soups are classified as the third most unhealthy food in all of America. A single cup of 1 gram of condensed soup contains a whopping 760 milligrams of sodium. A can contains 2.5 servings, so if you consume 1 can of this soup, you're ingesting 1,900 milligrams of sodium.
Ella, arguing for the pro side, you may now deliver your concluding statement.
Fast food is a treasure in America's history. People need to stop discouraging these innovative restaurants. Fast food restaurants are cheap and affordable for everyone, provide the fastest service possible, and have revolutionized our economy. The only issue with fast food is the health problems, yet this is only problematic for very few fast food chains. In conclusion, fast food is a benefit to our community, and it's clear Americans agree. According to OneGreenPlanet.org today, more than 160,000 fast food restaurants feed more than 50 million Americans each and every day.
Thank you. Nate, you have the final word. You have up to 2 minutes to deliver your concluding statement.
Due to its many undeniable health issues and many economic disadvantages, fast food is the worst thing to happen to our food system. Fast food is linked to the obesity epidemic World Health Organization officials have attested. It causes many long-term and life-threatening diseases. And finally, fast food gives no benefits to its employees. Fast food has a few pros, such as hiring and feeding millions, but it's often ignored. Life-threatening health issues outweigh those pros. Your argument is fast food is good because health is less important than laziness. Cheap, low-quality ingredients are good, and fast food gives its workers minimum wage jobs with no benefits. In conclusion, fast food is the worst thing to happen to our food system.
Thank you both. Nate and Ella will be available at their gallery walk afterwards to continue the debate if you'd like to engage with them.
Also, this is not my personal opinion.
Next up, you will hear a debate about the use of genetically modified organisms in food production. Arguing for the pro side is our own Seth Patz. And arguing for the con side is our own Sia Renee Ballas. Seth, arguing for the pro side, you have up to a minute to deliver your opening statement.
Hello everyone. I am pro-GMO and I'm here today to tell you why you should be too. GMO is a genetically modified organism. This means that scientists edit the DNA of a fruit or vegetable in order to make it larger or healthier. At the most basic level, the definition of genetic engineering is selecting what qualities you want in a crop. There is a lot more to learn about GMOs, and I will later present my research on the past, present, and future of GMOs. Hopefully, after hearing my arguments, you too will be pro-GMO. My first argument is that most, if not all, foods you eat are GMOs. My second argument is that GMOs do not affect biodiversity. And my third argument is that GMOs are completely harmless to humans. Once I have concluded my debate, I know you will all have hope for the future of GMOs.
Thank you. Sia, arguing for the con side, you may now ask some clarifying questions. Seth, you have up to 30 seconds to respond to each.
Are you saying that artificial selection over generations and being engineered in the lab, which means having genes spliced and inserted into foods, are the same thing?
Yes. So the only difference is that artificial selection, you are hoping for certain qualities to come out, but with genetic engineering, you can ensure that those qualities.
Are you ignoring the research that is done by the Institute for Responsible Technology about the rats that once fed GMOs died or developed health issues, or the workers in Germany who developed health issues when they worked with GMO crops?
I know that some GMOs are designed, they are called BT, and they have a thing in them that harms the immune system of pests that eat them.
Sia, arguing for the con side, you now have up to a minute to deliver your opening statement.
Hello, my name is Sia. In this argument, I will be stating that GMOs should not be in use. A GMO is a food that was developed in a lab, not one that was artificially selected. GMOs might have the false promise of more production of food, but actually hurts more than it helps. It hurts humans. As studies have found, it can lead to cancer. Its chemical pesticide runoff hurts the world, and the chemical runoff also kills animals such as amphibians. All in all, we shouldn't be supporting something that states this much.
Seth, arguing for the pro side, you now have an opportunity to ask Sia clarifying questions, so you have up to 30 seconds to answer each.
Are GMOs causing pollution, or is it chemical pesticides?
Well, it is the chemical pesticides, but the chemical pesticides that are causing pollution are a direct byproduct of the GMOs.
There are many types of cancer. What type of cancer were GMOs shown to cause, and how?
The type that it was shown to cause was non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and it was just being exposed to GMOs and pesticides.
Seth, you arguing for the pro side, you now have 5 minutes to deliver your main arguments.
I have prepared 3 main arguments promoting the use of GMOs. My first argument is that most foods you eat are GMOs. After I took the time to read through some articles from National Geographic, I learned that humans have been selecting qualities of their food for centuries. If out of your pack of 7 dogs, 2 of them are more loyal. You would want to breed those 2 dogs, hoping that their offspring passes on their loyalty. People did the same thing with plants. It is because of this that even if your strawberries say non-GMO, they're still very different from the way strawberries originally were. Even if you were to find a wild apple now and compare it to a wild apple from a couple hundred years ago, there would be differences between them. Who here likes watermelon? So this is a picture of what watermelon looked like in the 1600s. So as you know, you eat the flesh of the watermelon, and the rind is inedible. As you can see here, there is barely any flesh. Most of it is inedible. And this is what watermelons look like now, nice and juicy. So thanks to GMOs, now we can enjoy watermelons the way we do now. And many other plants have been affected in similar ways. Many people say that GMOs threaten biodiversity by spreading and reproducing with other non-GM plants, causing harm to humans and biodiversity. This is not true. However, the growth and reproduction of GM plants is highly contained and supervised in order to prevent this exact problem. There are many ways to prevent the spread of GMO crops, such as buffer zones. A buffer zone is when you have a certain growing area separate from others in order to prevent seeds from spreading. An article written by the USDA explains how buffer zones are an effective way to prevent cross-contamination. Some people still ask, what if GMOs were to spread? This leads into my third and final argument. GMOs cause no harm to humans. This means that even if GM and non-GM plants were to breed, it wouldn't really matter. Most GMOs don't have anything really different in their makeup that will cause harm to humans. The GMOs that do have poison in them also don't affect humans. These are called BT crops. BT is a gene found in the bacterium Bacillus thuringiensis. According to many studies, including some done by Harvard, BT affects bugs super effectively, but is harmless to humans. This is similar to how chocolate harms dogs, but is completely harmless to humans. You wouldn't want to ban chocolate just because it harms dogs. With the increased use of GMOs, there has been an increased use of pesticides. This is because GMOs are being modified to be resistant to the pesticide glyphosate. With the increased use of glyphosate, there have been concerns about its effect on human life. Multiple studies have shown that glyphosate can lead to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. These are a perfect example of isolated events, as according to the Genetic Literacy Project, only about 1 in 4 studies done on glyphosate showed negative results. So we do not have enough conclusive information to make any conclusions about glyphosate. The use of glyphosate does directly correlate with the use of GMOs, but the crop producing companies are the ones to blame for this. GMOs would actually help the issues of toxins spreading if used correctly. We can modify plants that are able to drain certain chemicals from the ground, or make them super effective carbon collectors like oak trees. We can modify plants to be able to live through droughts and storms to help us prevent famines.
Thank you. Sia, you now have, arguing for Constat, you now have up to a minute to deliver your rebuttal.
The GMOs that are entering the world were developed in a lab, not artificial selection. There's a difference, and the difference is one that cannot be glazed over. Humans are affected by GMOs negatively. If not, then you should definitely figure out what was giving those farmers cancer. The thing is while the events might have been only 1 in 4, the evidence is therefore inconclusive. That means that we don't know if it doesn't harm us. We don't want to put something in our bodies without knowing the full side effects. We don't know the full repercussions, so they should stop being on our shelves and in our fridges. And yes, farmers have figured ways to stop GMOs from spreading, but that doesn't mean we don't have to get rid of it. Glyphosate is only in use with its numbers because of GMOs. GMOs are inevitably tied to big corporations. We cannot get rid of the company's involvement with GMOs, so we cannot hesitate to get rid of GMOs.
Sia, arguing for the Constat, you now have up to 5 minutes to deliver your main arguments.
GMOs hurt humans. Glyphosate is the main ingredient in a commonly used weed killer. High levels of glyphosate can only be used in GMOs that have been specifically designed to withstand the chemical, which is Monsanto's Roundup, a commonly used weed killer. Glyphosate is a direct byproduct of GMOs, for it only exists in the volume that it does because of GMOs. In 2015, the World Health Organization stated that glyphosate was probably carcinogenic to humans. As well, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency has failed to do the acceptable risk assessment about glyphosate. Federal agencies don't know the glyphosate amount in our food and drinking water. This is because glyphosate has been excluded from the Federal Pesticide Residue Testing Program. Only recently, the FDA has been testing for it in food. In October 2017, the Lancet Commission on Pollution and Health came out with a consensus statement pinpointing pollution and chemicals as the largest environmental cause of disease and death in the world today, responsible for an estimated 9 million premature deaths. The paper has 2 paragraphs on glyphosate, also talking about pesticides on cancer. Epidemiological studies of agricultural workers who were exposed occupationally to glyphosate and other herbicides have found evidence for increased occurrence of non-Hodgkin lymphoma in these people. This is just another nail in the coffin of the fact that GMOs should not be in use. GMOs severely wound the environment. The increased use of GMOs can increase the use of pesticides, which can injure the aquatic ecosystem and add to pollution. The increase of pesticides, like glyphosate, happen because weeds become resistant to glyphosate, and thus more of the chemical is used. This can leave glyphosate residue in water and rainwater. It also leaves residues in the food humans eat. GMOs kills animals. The glyphosate kills amphibians even in larval state. GMOs, neonics, have been another kind of chemical pesticides, has also been related to killing off the bees. Studies have shown that rats fed GMOs, and rats, by the way, are mammals just like humans, not bugs, have developed bleeding stomachs and infertility. We are killing off animals who have done nothing, and we are killing them off for no reason. If frogs and other amphibians were to die, diseases like avian malaria would spread, algae would increase its suffocation, and birds and dragonflies would have lost a food source. We need to stop this. We don't know how GMOs are going to affect us in the future. for we have not done multi-generational studies. We have done minimal testing on GMOs and glyphosate, but we are not cautious to the future. We don't know if this will lead to another thalidomide debacle to occur. The thalidomide issue occurred in 1962 when doctors prescribed pregnant women with tested drugs and babies were born with deformities, including shrunken arms and legs. Glyphosate has been used for 40 years and GMOs only about 20 years. It is true glyphosate was considered one of the most harmless of pesticides, but the thing is that with the use of glyphosate, weeds have slowly become more resistant to the smaller amounts of glyphosate, so more and more has to be in use. The more and more that is in use is the volume of glyphosate that is in use currently and the kind that is harming the environment and people. In short, if we take away GMOs, we can get rid of glyphosate. And we don't know the long-term results of GMOs. We take this risk with our children.
Thank you. Seth, arguing for pro side, you have up to a minute for your rebuttal.
Sia, you were saying that GMOs are a gateway to the increased use of glyphosate. But the problems expressed towards GMOs are really meant to be towards big brand companies that will do anything to save money. Any powerful thing can be dangerous in the wrong hands. Furthermore, the studies that show glyphosate as harmful are inconsistent. They are not saying glyphosate affects 25% of all humans. They are saying that 75% of all studies done on glyphosate show it to be harmless. Glyphosate would be used whether GMOs were in use or not. Food waste is most commonly produced by people buying and not completely consuming their food. People will not begin to buy more and eat less food just because there is more available. GMOs are not as effective as they could be because of these myths and restraints. When you said GMOs made rats' stomachs bleed, you were correct. That is precisely what BT does. It is a chemical that affects the digestive system of pests. GMOs only harm what they are supposed to harm and only help what they are supposed to help.
Seth, you now have up to 2 minutes to deliver your pro-concluding statement.
Overall, the benefits of GMOs tremendously outweigh the risk. GMOs will carry out farming to its full potential. Now, we have to use over 4 million acres of land to grow corn. America consumes 244,275,000 tons of corn a year. With a constantly increasing population, we need to cut down more forests to produce more food. Or we could use GMOs and efficient farming to help save the world. GMOs are a gateway into a better and healthier earth. If we use GMOs intelligently, the possibilities are endless. It is estimated by 2050 we will have 9 billion people to feed. But with GMOs, we can feed all those people and more.
GMOs have awful effects on the world and its inhabitants. The only people that benefit from its use are the companies. Big corporations go hand in hand with GMOs. We can't get rid of the company's influence without getting rid of GMOs. We have to stop using GMOs. They hurt animals, humans, and environment. Do we value temporary ease and profit for inflated companies more than the world we live on and the lives that surround us? The GMOs that are injuring the world were developed in lab, not artificial selection. I'm sorry I have to repeat this over and over again. We can feed the world without GMOs. An EWG report stated that GMO crops, such as corn and soybeans, have not significantly contributed to the world's food security and are primarily used to fuel cars and feed animals, not humanity. And studies show that GMOs used in yes are not more fruitful than non-GMO foods in Western Europe. As well, we have 1.4 billion tons of wasted food globally per year. We have the food, it's just not distributed. We don't need GMOs. We need to care for humans and the planet we live on.
As with Ella and Nate, Sia and Seth will also be available at their gallery walk to ask some more questions about their research and further engage in the debate.
Each student has a business and service role to focus on. On the service team, we have a finance manager, accountants, facilities manager, communications manager,
and events manager. For our pizza team, we have our pizza business manager, customer service coordinator, marketing and salesperson, and supplies coordinator. And for our land team, we have our land manager, chicken coordinator, compost coordinator, and garden coordinator. Last but not least, we have our all-natural clean products business, which is run by the clean products manager. The money that we make goes to our classrooms so we can make more investments, make donations to organizations, and purchase items for our classroom. The following presentations will explain the work that we've done so far this year. So let's get to it. First up is Mary.
Hello, I am the marketing and sales manager for Pizza Friday, which means that I come up with new and creative ways for pizza to make more money. If you don't know what Pizza Friday is when we buy pizza from a local pizza place. We also buy cucumbers, grapes, bell peppers, and carrots. We even make homemade hummus. Then our pizza team puts together whatever that child has ordered. Once a class has everything they ordered, we deliver to that classroom. This school year, we started Pizza Friday around 2 months ago, and we've made more than $2,500. We encourage you all to help support Pizza Friday. The money will go towards new resources for our class, as well as supplies that our pizza team may feel we need. Helping is as easy as filling out a piece of paper. If one person buys pizza each Friday, that's $40. Order forms are located in the main building. Thank you. Any questions? Yes?
The amount that you said that you made, was that profit?
Huh?
You said some figure of $2,000-something. Was that the profit you have made so far? Or
Yes,
was that
we've made more than $2,500. Yes?
Based on all the information that we've heard today, does the class think that pizza, even though it's making a lot of money, is the healthiest food to distribute to the school, or do you guys talk about this?
Yes. Since we have cucumbers, I wanted to have ranch to go with the cucumbers, but they thought ranch was unhealthy, so we have to stick with hummus. Thank you.
Hello, I am the manager of the school store, and as a manager, my vision is to enhance the Greenspring Montessori brand. The best way to accomplish this goal is to get more trendy clothes for adults and older kids, and fun toys and trinkets for younger kids. I've talked to the admin team to get the approval on my new items, and am in contact with 2 companies who would like to help me and make these ideas happen. Thank you. Any questions?
So you're going to, do they require prepayment to pre the Greenspring logo on these items, or do you have to carry inventory, or do you order them one at a time?
So for the clothes, I'm going to have order forms. No, for the clothes, I'm going to have them in stock, and for the non-clothes items, I'm going to have order forms.
But if you store, like, is there be a little, like, would you use the building somewhere inside the school? Put all your stuff after the school day?
I'm trying to figure that out.
What 2 companies have you contacted, and have they been used before by the school store?
They've not been used by school store, and my 2 companies are Captain Jerry's, and I'm not too sure the other.
Is the store currently online?
It is, but we're going to change something.
What will the new products be new?
Once the companies get back to me, then I will know the cost for things.
As a part of our class's business and service roles, we run an all-natural cleaning products business called Greenspring. We started in the beginning of the year finding different ways to revamp the business. That included all new scents, formulas, and products. For example, previously the products were made with citrus smells, which really enhanced the vinegar used to make our all-purpose and dust sprays. We chose to buy new essential oils and decrease the amount of vinegar used, but still the right amount to clean.
For the past 2 months, we have created products for just the staff and classrooms of the community. We also worked on a giant project to provide samples of lotion for Grandparents' Day. Now it's time to give to the families of Greenspring.
Raise your hand if you are at all nervous for the craziness of holiday shopping. That's exactly why Greenspring is starting early just for you. We have a fantastic selection of gifts, including coffee scrubs, hand sanitizer, sugar scrubs, and all-purpose cleaners, with a beautiful variety of holiday scents, including Christmas wreath, peppermint, sugar cookie, and gingerbread.
Our future business plans are to have new scents and products every single month. For example, in spring, we will be collaborating with the land team, using their herbs to scent our products, just in time for spring cleaning.
You can find your order forms for this holiday season during the gallery walk and buy products from our overstock sale.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Have you thought about growing your own herbs so you can have a full supply on hand?
Yeah, we're working with the land team.
Do you sell unscented?
We do, but because it's all natural, it's like vinegar and things like that, so it's a very strong scent, so we highly suggest
So what's the biggest challenge you faced in your process?
overall. Well, we did, like what Abby explained, we did a Grandparents' Day order, where we had to provide to the grandparents, and it was a lot of work for us, so.
So it was like manufacturing power or
Yeah.
something, right? What's the most popular product?
Right now it's hand sanitizers, just in time for flu season. What's in it? Yeah. It's vinegar, water, essential oils, and liquid soap.
I know for Grandparents' Day you had this lotion available, and I didn't notice it on the order form that came home in our Thursday folder. Is that available at this time? Or?
No, it's not. It may be open during the spring, though.
It was very, very good.
Yes. Are you guys going to work on online presence, or do you already have them?
Possibly. We haven't really considered that, but I hope to eventually.
Is there like a place to like when you're shopping for them, is there like a place or can you do it online?
It's not online yet, but in your Thursday folders, there was an order form that you can give to your mom, and she can give it to us, and we'll give it to you.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Oh, is there a special material they use to actually make the scent something like sugar cookies?
We use essential oils that we bought. I don't know what's in there.
Would you ever consider selling your products at Greenspring?
Greenspring, I haven't yet to consider that. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Olivia Day and I am our land manager. Today we will be telling you a little bit about our land.
I'm Brooke, I'm the garden coordinator.
I'm Mango, the compost coordinator.
I'm Seth, I'm the chicken manager.
As the land manager, I overlook the land and make sure I meet all the team's needs and their roles. I also meet with the whole team every Monday and Friday, and we go over what we need to get done or any issues.
As a garden coordinator, I plant all different kinds of flowers, vegetables, and herbs. The flowers and vegetables are to be sold, and the herbs go towards our all-natural cleaning business. Right now, I'm currently planting cauliflower, carrots, lettuce, mint, lavender, rosemary, and flowers.
As the compost coordinator, I make sure all our smaller compost buckets are being picked up every Friday and dump them into the 3 bigger compost bins, where we make them nice, healthy, and strong. I also organize times to teach our younger students about how our compost works.
As the chicken manager, I take care of the chickens, I feed them, I give them water. In the beginning of this year, I built them a fence so they could have a little bit of freedom and roam outside their coop. I bathe them, and on Fridays at Carline, I give away eggs and accept donations. And I also will educate younger students about chickens.
Here are a few of our future plans that we are focused on right now. We have on the list a tire swing circle, a fire pit and brick oven, benches, and the mural on the back of the trailer. And in the next Igniting Voice, hopefully a few of those will be done that we can share pictures with and how we did it. Are there any questions?
Where's the trailer?
The trailer it's the big white trailer. Right in front of the land.
Do the chickens get community box?
Yeah, of course, always, but they're pretty well behaved. Most of them are, except for when you bathe them.
Have your chickens been lost?
No chickens have been lost. We had to get rid of one of our chickens, our rooster Joe.
Yes. What do you plan to do with your compost?
Oh, good question. For our compost, we're going to be using it as a natural fertilizer for our upcoming crops.
What did you all learn from this whole experience?
Well, I've been learning about the different ingredients for compost, how to care for it, and even why we compost.
I learned that chicken poop smells really bad.
It's not my son.
All of learning that.
Is that going, sorry, not to be interrupted, is that going to compost? Do you compost the chicken coop or is it not?
Yes.
Yes.
Chicken feathers, too.
Ella?
Are you gonna sell your compost when it's done?
Good idea.
Anyone else?
I
Yes?
didn't hear you.
Did you answer?
Oh, we are not sure. We're going to have to think about that.
Okay.
I was just wondering why you had to get rid of the rooster.
So there are multiple reasons. So the school is right next to a residence, and you're not allowed to have roosters without like a license in near a residence because they make too much noise in Maryland. And also, we didn't want him to breed with the other chickens.
When you say you give them,
For your future plans, where will they be? 2, who's gonna use them?
So they will be on the land, which is down there, and you guys can use them. Everybody is welcome to go down there. Really, our main goal is kind of just to make it a place where people can just hang out and do their work, nice, peaceful. peaceful environment.
When you say you bathe them on Fridays, is that like giving them a dust bath, or what do you mean by?
Well, whenever we see that they're dirty, we will, there's like a special type of bath. You have to like get water and vinegar and soap.
We use water, we use 3 solutions, we use water, vinegar and water, and then soap and water, and we kind of go throughout there.
Do you also give them, do they have access so they can give themselves a dust bath for help with bugs and stuff? Like mites?
That's something to consider also, thank you.
Do you bathe the roosters?
The chicken, we don't have any roosters. The chickens, yes, we bathe the chickens.
How are you acquiring funding to do practice?
I mean, we kind of, like I said, we all meet on Monday and Friday, and we just kind of list our goals and what we have to get done that week and deadline, and we accept donations.
The money, so.
Oh, those are from the eggs.
Okay.
And, yeah, just all of our businesses together.
How much have you raised from the eggs so far?
Do you know how much?
We could open our spreadsheet if the gallery wants.
You have eggs to distribute before Thanksgiving break?
Yeah.
A lot?
Yeah. Couple.
Did you put up any of the There's probably. Yeah, if people want to stop by to get some eggs,
Yeah.
we can do that too.
Winter planting, how's the winter planting?
It's good, but
Are they covered? I mean, you're really starting stuff this time of year, that's interesting.
yeah, the cauliflower is supposed to come up soon, but I wasn't expecting the snow,
Right.
so they kind of got snowed on. But I'm working on putting hoops over them and a tarp.
Yes?
Are you putting any of the leaves on top of the garden to protect the soil from frost? I haven't looked into that, but I'm really
Brooke, have you been down to Real Food Farms also? And have you learned anything there that you're bringing back to the way you're doing your gardening here?
Yeah, so they actually use an all-natural pesticide. It's called kaolin clay. It's this powdery like substance, and you mix it with water and liquid soap. So I made that, and it keeps away like all the bugs and keeps them fresh. So I've made that, and I've been spraying it on the plants.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you for coming to our Igniting Voice. I hope you all enjoyed the presentations and learned something new. Now, please enjoy the gallery walk, which will be open until 11:30. It's in our classroom just up there, so we're all going to walk over there now.